everybody. In last lecture, we talked about Chinese mythology. And today, we are going to have something about Greek and Roman mythology. Now first, let's get to know what are our today's main contents. First, we are going to get to know the relations between Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. Second, we are going to get to know the 12 Olympians. Third, we are going to know the story of Prometheus. And fourth, we are going to know a woman or a goddess who is very famous in Greek and Roman mythology, who is Medusa. Okay. Fifth is the most famous heroes in Greek mythology. And the sixth one is the monsters and strange creatures in Greek mythology. And last, we are get to generalize the essence and significance of Greek mythology. Now, let's get to know the relations between Greek and Roman gods and goddesses. Looking at this picture, you are going to know there are so many gods and goddesses in Greek and Roman mythology, right? And after the Romans conquered Greece, Romans' deities became increasingly associated with the figures of Greek mythology. And most of the Greek deities were adopted by the Romans, although in many cases there were changes of names. That means, although in Roman and Greek mythology, these gods and goddesses have different names, in fact, they are the same ones. And now let's get to know the 12 Olympians one by one. The major Greek gods and goddesses of the pantheon were referred to as the Olympians as they lived on the mythical Mount Olympus according to ancient Greek mythology. And the 12 Olympians gained power in their victory over the Titans in the War of the Gods. As you can see from this picture, half of them are gods, half of them are goddesses. That's the first god we are going to know. Yes, he looks like an emperor, right? Yes, he is Zeus, the king of gods. Okay, the second goddess we are going to know is Athena. Athena is the goddess of, wisdom and war. Athena was one of the most powerful goddesses. She was called the daughter of Zeus, but the Greeks believed that she had sprung full grown from his head, wearing her helmet and armor. She was more warlike than the other goddesses and almost always successful in her battles. Athena was also the goddess of wisdom and learning. The owl was her favorite bird because of its wise and solemn look, and it is often represented with Athena in the Greeks' images. Hestia is the third Olympians we are going to know. She is also called Dionysus. She is the goddess of family and stove. This is a stove. And I think most of you are familiar with this young god, right? Yes, he is Apollo, okay? He is the god of, light, music, prophecy, and medicine. And she is Hera. She is the wife of Zeus. She is also the goddess of marriage and birth. And then look at this god full of muscles, right? Okay. He is Poseidon. He is the god of the sea. Poseidon, the god of the sea, was also referred to as the earth shaker due to his role in causing earthquakes and had been called the tamer of horses. He is usually depicted as an old male with curly hair and beard. And Poseidon was considered one of the most bad-tempered, moody, and greedy Olympian gods. He was known to be vengeful when insulted. For example, when he brutally blinded Cyclops Polyphemus because his father Odysseus had insulted him. And Demeter, she is the goddess of agriculture and harvest. And this is Artemis. She is the goddess of hunting. And the next one is Ars. He is the god of war and force. Aphrodite. She is the goddess of love and beauty. Let's get to know more about Aphrodite. Aphrodite, she is the most beautiful of all the goddesses, was often called the sea-born goddess because she was formed one evening from the foam of the sea, where its waves beat upon a rocky shore. Her eyes were as blue as the summer sky overhead, her skin as fair as the white sea foam from which she came, and her hair as golden as the yellow rays of the setting sun. When she was led into the assembly of the gods, everyone admired and loved her. The 11th is Hephaestus. He is the god of fire and craftsman. Now, in this picture, it depicted Hephaestus as a craftsman, right? And the last Olympian is Hermes. Hermes is the god of a mystery, thief, traveler, and a businessman. Now let's get to know the story of Prometheus. When Zeus became the king of gods, the men upon the earth were nothing more than savages. Prometheus felt sorry for them and wanted to help, so he stole some of the fire that the gods kept in heaven and brought it down to humans. When Zeus saw what Prometheus had done, he was very angry. In order to punish Prometheus, Zeus had him chained. Okay, looking at this picture, yes, by his hands and feet to a great lonely mountain where the hot sun shone down on him day after day, and the rain and the storm beat upon him, and Zeus sent an eagle to pick and tear at his liver every day, while every night the wound healed afresh. But still Prometheus refused to yield. So for 10,000 years he suffered in this way. And next we are going to know the story of Medusa. In Greek mythology, Medusa was a monster, a gorgon, generally described as a winged human female with a hideous face and living venomous snakes in place of hair. Gazes on her face would turn to stone. And in this picture, you can see the end of Medusa. Yes, she was beheaded, right? Okay, Medusa was beheaded by the hero Perseus, who thereafter used her head as a weapon until he gave it to the goddess Athena to place on her shield. Okay, here, shield means 盾牌. And now let's get to know the most famous heroes in Greek mythology. We just take a look at the 5 most famous heroes in Greek mythology. This is the first one. Wow, this man is full of power, force, and muscles, right? Yes, he is Hercules. Yes. And this one is Achilles, yes. This one is Jason. Okay, this one is Perseus, who beheaded Medusa, right? Yes, Perseus. And it is said that Perseus was the son of Zeus. And the 5th one is Theseus, okay? These 5 great famous heroes share something in common. The 5 heroes are the most famous ones in Greek mythology, and all have divine parents, and therefore bridge the gap between mortals and gods. They pursued fantastic adventures and signified ideal qualities. And next, let's get to know the monsters and strange creatures in Greek mythology. Greek mythology includes a number of monsters and strange creatures, such as this one. Don't you think he is a little bit strange? Yes, he just has one eye, right? Okay, he is the famous one-eyed Cyclops, okay? And this one is Sphinxes. And the last one, you see, it's a very huge snake. Yes, giant snakes. These creatures may represent chaos and a lack of reason. For example, the centaurs are half man and half horse, 半人半马. Fierce and fantastic creatures often emphasize the difficulty of the tasks heroes are set. For example, the many-headed Hydra is killed by Hercules. Okay, finally, let's generalize the essence and significance of Greek mythology. Myth, whether Greek, Roman, or any other cultures, just like in China, we also have our Chinese mythology. At the end of the day, we're concerned with the relationship between gods and human, differing in this regard from fairy tales and folk tales. For all people, in many ways, myths made life bearable by providing security. They should not be easily dismissed as simple stories, for in both Greece and Rome, they dealt with important issues: the creation of the world, the nature of good and evil, and even the afterlife. And for this reason, these tales have stood the test of time and become part of our present culture. Okay, that's all for today's lecture. Thank you for your attention. See you next week. Bye-bye.